Ohio gozaimasu. As far as I know, my very limited Japanese, that means good morning. And that is the limitations of my Japanese, and apologies to anyone who knows it better. This morning on Mission Alive, I want to talk to you about a Japanese man that I knew up in Taupini in Papua New Guinea. You're with Roger from the MSC Mission Office, and this is Mission Alive. This man's name was Terada Yoshihiko, and he was an agricultural officer, and he came as a volunteer with JICA from Japan, and he was posted at Taupini, where there was nothing happening with agriculture as far as the government department was concerned. Nothing was happening. So Terada used to put his backpack on and he'd walk around the villages and talk to the people. And he came up to me and he wanted to learn more English. So we would just have conversation occasionally. We talked about many things. He was a very, very nice man. Very nice man. Anyway, one morning I went down to the high school to give some RE classes, and Terada was there giving a class on something to do with agricultural crops or something. So as he walked out of the classroom and I was going towards my classroom, we looked at each other and I said to him, "Ohayou gozaimasu, Terada-san," meaning good morning, Mr. Terada. And he smiled and he looked at me and he says, "G'day, mate." So he was fitting in very well with Papua New Guinea and with this particular Aussie. We used to also have up there occasionally a meal together with those of us who were the expatriates in the place. There was myself, two De La Salle brothers, the headmaster of the high school who was a Scotchman, and Sister Morris who was a Brigidine sister. And we also invited Terada. It was just a little way that as expatriates living in an isolated community, we could just get together and share a meal and deepen our friendships. And we were quite friendly with each other. And so when it was my turn to cook and to host, we called it Roger's Rotisserie. And Brother Gabriel, when it was his turn, we called it Gabe's Gourmet. And when Brother Doug's turn, it was Doug's Diner. And I forgot what we said for Morris and for the headmaster. But we used to have these, bit of a joke, and we'd cook up nothing special, whatever we had. But the main thing was to share it, and we shared it also with Terada. So one night it was at my place, Roger's Rotisserie, and Terada turned up with this bowl of rice. And he said, "This rice is from my place, from my village." And that's his organisation, JICA, would do that. Anything they wanted out of Japan, they would get it and send it to him. So when he came to eat, I looked at this rice and it looked, wet in our terms, as we probably don't know much about rice. It was wet, and I thought, oh, this might be a bit gluggy. Anyway, I tasted it. It was beautiful, really, really, really nice rice. So I said to Terada, "This looks to me like it's too wet. We usually wait till it's drier." And he said, no. He said, "This one must be like that. This particular rice is like that." Was very, and on the sideline now, I think as far as I remember, Japanese don't have a word for rice. They have many different varieties of rice and have a name for each one. So we just say rice, but they say this thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. So I suppose the principle, what I'm saying is we need to get together. We need companionship, and we all know that now in this COVID pandemic, how much we long to get together, how much we might long to get together and have a meal, or go out together and have a meal, have a picnic somewhere. And it's so important to us, because when you eat, you share the meal, you share the company, you share stories, you share news and information and many, many, many things, and it just builds our relationships. builds up who we are, and helps us to know who each one of us is, and who the others are. So it's very, very important to us to be able to get together, and we look forward to that again. And I suppose in the meantime we can make phone calls and many other things. This is part of being our life as Christian people, as church. Part of our mission is to be together, to accept each other as we are, and to understand each other. Thank you for being with us.